Some of you have been inquiring if I'm still using the Power Junkie to externally power my GH6. And the short answer is yes, absolutely. Here's the long answer. Here is the Power Junkie right here. I have it attached to the GH6 Cage, the SmallRig Cage, and plugging into the GH6. I am using this rig right now on a shoot with a client. They are a duck hunting guide, and they need someone to work on their social media content. So when you're out with hunters, you don't have time to power on gear and then hit record. So this equipment has to be on all the time. And then the only thing I have to really worry about is making sure it's all recording. Now on a typical day, I'm usually going through about 4 of these batteries at least. 2 for the GH6, 2 for the Atomos. The only caveat I really ran into that was kind of annoying was finding a cable that would work. Not all USB-C cables will support the power that's needed by the GH6. Now this one here came off one of my GoPros, and I don't remember which one to be honest, but that one has been working. And it's important to have something short here. I want to find a coiled cable, like I have one for my HDMI. I want to find a coiled one here just for cable management, because there's a lot going on around here around my focus wheel, and I'm not too crazy about that. And since we're here, let's take a moment to talk about the rest of the rig that I'm using. This is the SmallRig map box right here, the simple one with only one flag. Yes, I can get a map box that has flags on each side, but I need things to be, well, simpler, honestly. As I said, I'm out with hunters. They're very active, working very tight quarters, and just worrying about one flag is all I need to worry about. I don't need to have 3 to mess with, so I'm just using this one. Now the lens is the 12-35 Mark II. This, I admit, is not the best lens you can put on the GH6. However, what's really important, because I'm doing a lot of handheld, is dual image stabilization. That is very important. I tried shooting with the Voigtlanders, and it was just a bit too shaky. I like the results. Even if the image quality isn't quite as nice, I do like the more stable footage. On the front here is the GoPro Hero 11. This is kind of a extra cam since I'm out all by myself. I don't have anybody running B cams for me. I need to record as much content as possible in case something goes wrong, right? So I have a lot going on here, and I'll show you what else I got going on in a minute. So I do have this one up here, just recording a little bit extra. I haven't had to use it, but it's kind of nice to have. I thought maybe I would use it to record some vlog content of me out working, but I just haven't done that, so I apologize. On the back here, we have the Atomos 5 Plus. I was on the fence about getting another external recorder. I've had the Ninja Inferno for quite some time, since I got the GH5 when it came out, and I found it to be bulky, loud, battery vampire, and honestly kind of a pain in the ass to use out in the field. I do use it in the studio, but not in the field. This has been a thing of beauty. I love this little accessory, this device actually. It is a must-have. Now, how I've been shooting is, my clients really don't know what they want. Okay, they like slow motion, but they also want video footage with audio. So what I was going to do is record at 4K, 120 FPS. However, I'm always a little gun shy about that one memory card failing, because the GH6 has 2 different memory card types, unlike the GH5 and GH5S, which I could use the same type of memory card in each slot, which gave me redundancy. That's my one complaint with the GH6, is no redundancy. So what I'm doing is I'm recording at 24 FPS, but with 120 FPS variable frame rate in camera, and at the same time just recording regular 24 FPS to the Atomos. And for the audio, I am feeding the output of my Zoom H5, which I'll show in a second, straight to the monitor. So that way I have regular speed footage with audio. I have audio being recorded to the H5. Again, I'll cover that in a second. And then I'll have the slow motion footage, which can be really a nice dramatic touch, especially with hunting, right? Everything's very fast. The moment the ducks come out, they start shooting, everything is very, very fast. And having that variable frame rate footage really helps turn like what would be a 1.5 second shot down to something that's like 4 or 5 seconds long that you can actually use in a promotional video on social media. Before I talk about the audio, let's talk about the shoulder rig. Now, this accessory is from SmallRig. When it comes with a 12-inch rod set. I thought that was too short, to be honest. I picked up the 16s, and that's perfect. So my personal opinion is 12 is not enough, and I do recommend upgrading. I'm using the 12s on this right here. So what I have right here is a large quick release. Now this is because, as I said, I'm dealing with hunters. We might be in a boat, but then we might stop and get into a duck blind, which then I need to cut down the size. I need to get some of this off. So I have a quick release right here that I can just pop this top part of the rig off, and I can leave this in the boat. All right, let's talk about the one part of this rig that's still giving me a lot of grief. Right here, the audio. I'm using the Zoom H5 right here. I have it in a protective case. I really love this little recorder. One reason is it records a safety track. It is a second duplicate audio track of the original. That's like minus 10 decibels, I think. So if you have a clip in the original audio track, you have a chance to recover it in the safety track. Now, my first time out, I actually had this mounted on the camera. Why was that not good? Well, I mean, look at this thing. Look at this rig. It's massive, right? And I have to go out with hunters. I have to get in blinds, get it on a boats, move around. This thing is already very, very, very top heavy. Plus the conditions. This was getting quite wet at one moment, so I didn't want it sitting out in the open. So this is what I'm running now. I always had this on. This is the handle right here. Screws into the cage itself. I don't like to hold onto the camera when shooting because I don't want to accidentally hit a button. So I like this handle, plus it gives me an extra hot shoe. I have this little Movo accessory here for audio recorders. It helps absorb the shock of movement, which can create this weird ambient bump in your audio files. And I'm using the Zoom GH6 stereo capsule. It's a great little stereo microphone. You're thinking, wow, that looks weird. It's a ball. Yeah, it is. So it records a raw audio track to the H5. And in post, I can actually adjust the stereo width. It's not a fixed width. So it gives me a lot of flexibility, and I really like it. Got the dead cat. Got the ECM3 extension cable. Because normally, this little capsule here would plug into the top of the recorder. All right. So I have it up out of the way. Unfortunately, the cable is 6 feet. And this is my short one. I have an 18-footer. So this is as short as I can get. And it's still, I'm still trying to figure this out. I have a lot of cabling I have to mess with. It's a pain in the ass. Coming out of the recorder, at the top is obviously the other end of the extension cable. All right. Now, coming out the bottom is the bane of my existence. Turn it around and show you what's going on here. All right, first, some earbuds, right? It's always good to monitor your audio. Now, I don't, they're kind of messed up right now. This is one of the reasons I hate these little buggers. It is good to check your audio, but I don't always have earbuds hooked into the set. I'm trying to figure out a workflow that this can actually work. I'm kind of messed up right now. I also have a line out right here running into the line in on the Atomos. Right here. Let's get it closer. Right there. All right. Not sure if I'm going to keep this. The reasoning was all the audio I'm recording lives on the SD card in this device. What if something happened to this? Then I lose the audio. But then I'd have a backup audio track on the SSD for the Atomos. So the whole theory is redundancy. I'm not sure, though, if this is worthwhile. It is kind of a pain in the butt. There's a lot of cabling to deal with. I got the headphones right here. So there's two things I might drop. I might drop the headphones and the line out cabling, because it is kind of complicated. Get up right here. It is kind of complicated and tough to work with, and makes for a bit of a mess. The one thing I think is kind of necessary, the other cable I have running out right here on the bottom, is this remote control, this aftermarket JJC. It's the SRRCH5. It is a aftermarket external recorder for the Zoom H5 that works great. It's pretty affordable. I can't remember the price, but I'll try to remember to leave a link in the description. This works great. Why do I have this? Well, this is something that's not negotiable. I need to have it. Why? Because when you're out in the field, whether you're hunting, wildlife photography, this is one of the worst sounds of all time, right? Velcro. Maybe that doesn't sound loud to you, but trust me, when you're out in the field and you're hunting and you're being very, very quiet, that is stupid loud. So, not to upset my client, I leave this in my pocket and I control the recorder with this, and it works really well. So this is kind of a necessary evil. I must have this. But anyways, this is my audio setup right now. It is not perfect. I'm getting better with each time out figuring out how to set up and what I need. So I'm sure in a month or so, I'll have this down packed, and then maybe I'll do an update video then. All right, so getting back to the point of this video, yes, I am still using the Power Junkie to externally power the GH6. I think this is a really good option for people out there that don't know what to use. I personally kind of like this better than some of the power banks out there, just because the MPF batteries, for me, I have a lot of uses for them. I can use them with this, I can use them with the Atomos. Some of my lights can use MPF batteries. So I already have a lot of these, and it's just great to have a set of batteries that I can use on multiple devices, and that's kind of rare actually if you think about it. So I can't remember where I was at, but I was at some event where a videographer was documenting it, and some vegan protester was asking him what the fuzzy thing was on his camera. And without even realizing it, he just called it what we usually call it in the industry, which is a dead cat. And she freaking snapped. So anyways, I want to share that quick story with you. Hey, it's great seeing you all again. I know I've been busy, a lot going on, but I'm still here. And I hope to see you all again next time.